Welcome to Why You Watching TV, where you don't ask why I'm talking about it, you ask yourself why you watching. This is going to be a reaction channel where I'm going to react to certain things that I find interesting, talk about current events, current subjects, so just tap in. Feel free to leave your thoughts below in the comments. And as always, don't ask me why I'm talking about it, ask yourself why you watching.
I don't care what nobody say. Anton Daniels just made the whole city of Detroit look bad. And I know what y'all gonna say. Detroit ain't never supposed to go against Detroit. But a real Detroit nigga would have never let some shit like this happen. You let Corey Holcomb, out of all people, stand on business. Literally. He got out his seat, came over to you, and proceeded to stand on business. But you in the back talking about, I'm from Detroit. I'm from Detroit. Shit. A real Detroit nigga would have said, fuck your podcast and got it popping soon as you got out your seat. Then, to my recollection, this whole disconnection between y'all two was over something disrespectful you said. But if I recall correctly, he disrespected you first. But he did what you should have did. In the back talking about, I'm from Detroit. I'm from Detroit. Nigga, you from Southfield.
Y'all, I don't know this man from a can of paint. Okay, I ain't never even seen this man before. He ain't never even been on my For You page. But apparently, he knows me. He took my video and made a video about me on YouTube, which was weird because why didn't you just stitch my video? I mean, maybe he didn't want to give me the views. I don't know. Maybe he make more money over there on YouTube than he do on TikTok because he got a TikTok. I looked him up. But anyway, he goes on to make this whole video about my financial irresponsibility and I'm a single person and I should be able to make my money stretch and I'm driving a luxury car and I got this big fancy house and all of this stuff. He came up with this whole big ordeal off of a 3-minute video. I ain't never seen this man before a day in my life. I don't know him from a can of paint. That goes to show you, don't believe everything you see on the internet or hear on the internet because people do not be knowing what the fuck they be talking about. He is a good example of that. I didn't even have the energy to scroll through the other videos that he had on there because clearly he's just a yapper that just be talking out the side of his neck. But y'all really be watching and listening to shit like this? Because I can't. That type of stuff irritates me real bad.
Jackson Tax Action has a special offer. If you owe less than $30,000 to the IRS, you don't need to pay thousands in tax resolution fees to get help. For just $500 upfront and a small monthly case management fee, Jackson Tax Action will take on your case and guide you through the entire tax resolution process, from analyzing your IRS transcripts to negotiating the best possible solution. You won't find pricing this affordable or transparent anywhere else. If your balance is under $30,000, this could be the simplest and most cost-effective way to finally resolve your tax problem. Get started today and take the first step toward relief. Visit jacksontaxaction.sites.bloom.io to get help today.
Anton Daniels basically said that he wasn't black, that he's a Christian, that he identifies as a Christian. And he told Corey, who told you you were black? That is a construct. And that's the part I really wanted to break down here. He also told Corey, who told you you were black? And that all goes back to the transatlantic slave trade. There was no such thing as race before. Anton is absolutely right about that. I want to quote Robert Freeman when he was talking to Uncle Ruckus. Uncle Ruckus said that he wasn't black.
This is the Boondocks, by the way.
He said, Ruckus, you black as ace of spades, man. The same people that told him he was black are the same people that told you he was a Christian. My issue is he's going to say he doesn't identify with a social construct of race, but going to identify with another social construct of religion, of being Christian. If he was born in Japan, was born in China, was born in these Nordic countries that are secular, what are his odds of being Christian? What about if he was born in the Middle East? What's the odds of him being Christian? Religion is also a social construct. So he's going to deny his blackness because it's a social construct in order to identify with another social construct. Race is probably one of the only inelastic social constructs we have in this world. What I mean by that is inelasticity means it's not going to change. Unfortunately, racism, colonialism, and colorism has affected all four corners of the world. When it comes to faith, people find faith, people lose faith. Faith can change. Your nationality. You're an American citizen. You can move somewhere else, revoke your citizenship, and completely immerse yourself in another culture. You can change that. But guess what? Being black doesn't matter where you go. You will always be black.
I support a lot of things that Anton Daniels says in his videos. But, man, you don't tell a grown man he's essence from Oscar Mayer. You don't do that. There are other ways to get your point across. Unless we the dumb ones and Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb are working together.
This is disgusting. And if you see it, she also got the Coach bag right there. And so that's also disgusting that a person would be online flaunting. It's bad enough that you was out here stealing, right?
He thinks this is real? Listen, obviously this video is like a little skit. It's to be funny. It's not serious. Because first of all, did this lady get arrested? No. You think somebody really stole a whole bunch of things from the store and just came on the internet and told the internet about it? Like, this is getting ridiculous. This guy, Anton Daniels, who I'm a fan of, I've been watching for a couple months, he's just trying to make black women look terrible. There are black people in this entertainment business that will do anything for $1, a view, a subscriber, a like, a comment. And Anton Daniels is an example of make his own people look bad deliberately.
Anton Daniels, this is what I mean. You need to take a page from T.I. Because I can't believe you let that man disrespect your wife and your kid, your daughter. You let Corey Holcomb disrespect your wife and daughter and said, I'm going to bow out. Who? Boy, that's when I bow in. You had the gall, the audacity, nigga, to put my daughter and my wife in this shit and talk. That's why I say y'all, that's why I am a loner. Cause y'all niggas today, oh wow, y'all niggas different, boy. Y'all niggas different today, boy. Y'all niggas handle shit differently than my daddy and my uncles and my daddy best friends. Y'all handle different shit differently today. Cause boy, my daddy and uncles, boy, back in the day, boy, on site, nigga.
I just want to talk about the whole Anton and Mika situation. Listen, I'm not making no excuses for Mika, right? Obviously, she was definitely a nice, attractive, and sexy side chick. But at the end of the day, as men, right? If your girl allows you to cheat, it's your job not to put it in their face. So when I'm looking at Anton's situation, right? He's sitting here going around and bringing Mika onto the show and constantly flirting with Mika on camera, buying her gifts. Then you're taking her to the Corey Holcomb show, and then you're on stream with Mika again, and everybody knows that you and Mika are in the same room, kicking it, drinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you do stuff like that, you give off the indication that you're sleeping with her. And that's exactly what happened.
Anton Daniels, I don't know why you're telling people that you're a Christian, because you're not. A Christian is not going to invite anybody, not even a man, not even a woman, invite them to their penis. And that's you have said that other times. A Christian does not talk in that way, my brother. And I've seen you cussing. You was on that podcast cussing. That's not your only time you cussing. Bible says, let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth. You know what I'm saying? So we don't supposed to have filthy language. A Christian is not, known for that. He's not known. And I'm pretty sure, and supposedly you got a divorce. And you're with a girl now. I'm pretty sure you're not practicing abstinence to marriage, but I'm just going to say, off of the interviews that I've seen, that I've watched, you are not a Christian. Please stop telling people you're a Christian. The Bible says that anger rests in the bosom of fools. When I seen that interview with you and Corey, it seemed like you was already on one. You could have easily evaded all the argument of points and the points of confusion. You could have just talked through those things, but it looked like you wanted the action. Yes, Corey was he being in comic and stuff like that, but it was like you was prepared. You said, I did my research on you, and I don't think Corey did his research on you in a way of trying to come and argue with you. Really he was just trying to see, like, did you how do you love? He says that you kind of pander to the white community. He wanted to see your views on the black community, and you tried to use I think he said something about do you love black people or something like that? You said, I'm a Christian first. Hey man, that's a good statement, but I'm a Christian first too, but I love my black brothers and sisters. And that's, so I don't understand what you meant by that, but you come across these Uncle T's type of guys that pander to the white community because they know that they have power and they can, the Khazarians, the so-called Jews or whatever, they can help him, give him business deals and things like that, like the Hodge twins or Candace Owens type of people, you know what I'm saying? So he wants to be like that, you know what I'm saying? So that's why they try to push. They'll speak on black topics, but when it comes to showing they love and talking about black issues, when it's in a way of trying to find a solution, like truly trying to find a solution, rather than just talking about the issue, you know what I'm saying? Or bringing up how did it become like this? I always try to go to the root. The poor education was pushed by the Europeans, by the Khazarians and stuff. Those are people over their education. Those are people that's building prisons based on third grade reading scores. That's why, if you come out of the black neighborhood, you go to the white neighborhood, they on a different educational level. Why? Because it's a setup on purpose, man. All the business, why you think our neighborhoods, where we from, the inner city is ruined. Because those same tax dollars that used to go there when the white people stay there, it don't go there anymore. They cut that off on purpose, man, because then they introduce drugs into the community. Like, it's things that you can really talk about to highlight how did we end up in this situation that we are in today. But I'm glad that the Lord is waking us up and revealing to us that we are the Israelites, so this is part of Deuteronomy 28. Bible says in the land of their captivity, they should remember themselves. So we're captive in this land. That's why we had to fight for equal rights. That's why we had to fight just to get up there and vote. People's getting snatched up and hung and stuff like that. They still getting hung today. So it's good to, that's what was supposed to be, talked about on that podcast, when he was asking questions like that. That's how you show you real, to show that you have a pulse, and to show that you care about the disenfranchised, the people that's at the bottom, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, stop saying you're a Christian,